Welcome to Hong Kong Brief. The content of the briefing includes: has Hong Kong lost its way in the tourism business, and is there a route back? It's not Tesla in BYD's sights. It's the whole car industry. Hong Kong home sales sink to 33-year low in 2023, Centilene. China Fortune lands bond investors get only partial payment. China's commodities demand remains resilient despite factory slump. Has Hong Kong lost its way in the tourism business, and is there a route back? South China Morning Post. Hong Kong residents are increasingly crossing the border into mainland China for leisure activities, attracted by lower prices and a wider variety of choices. Despite negative perceptions of the mainland due to the national security law imposed on Hong Kong in 2019, many residents are willing to put politics aside and take advantage of the cost savings. Mainland visitors, however, are not returning to Hong Kong as readily, with tourism authorities noting a shift in their preferences from luxury goods to authentic local experiences. Former Chief Executive Leung Chun-ing accused local tourism officials of being too passive in their efforts to attract mainland tourists and called for a more proactive approach. Hong Kong's tourism industry has been hit hard by the pandemic, and authorities are being urged to update their mindset and develop a more holistic approach to attract visitors from around the world. Some suggestions include promoting Hong Kong's unique blend of Chinese and Western culture, customs, festivals, and heritage, as well as collaborating with mainland cities on joint marketing campaigns. The government has allocated additional funding for tourism marketing and has launched initiatives to boost the evening economy and encourage spending. It's not Tesla in BYD's sights. It's the whole car industry. Bloomberg. Chinese automaker BYD has overtaken Tesla as the world's largest producer of battery passenger cars, delivering 526,409 vehicles in Q4 2021 compared with Tesla's 484,507, according to Bloomberg Opinion. BYD's total sales, including trucks, buses, and plug-in hybrids, rose to 918,807. BYD's cheap production methods and focus on profitability have led to single-digit returns on equity and best returns on invested capital among major automakers, the article said. But BYD has grown too fast, with 1.91 cars sitting in inventory for every one sold in November, according to the article. Hong Kong home sales sink to 33-year low in 2023, Centilene. South China Morning Post. Property transactions in Hong Kong fell to the lowest level in 33 years in 2023 due to poor economic news and high interest rates, according to Centilene Property Agency. A total of 58,023 properties changed hands in the city in 2023, a 2.7% drop compared to 2022. The total value of transactions plunged 13.9% year-on-year to 477.6 billion Hong Kong dollars, $61 billion, the lowest figure in 10 years. However, December sales figures showed a rebound, with transactions rising 6.2% month-on-month to a three-month high of 3,752. China Fortune lands bond investors get only partial payment. Bloomberg. Some holders of China Fortune Land Development Company dollar bonds have reportedly received less than a third of the payments due on December 31, 2018 from a debt restructuring agreement. Creditors who participated in the offshore debt restructuring received about 0.55% of the principal, while the builder was supposed to repay 1.8% of the principal. China Fortune Land said the delay was due to a technical problem. The news highlights the struggle some Chinese builders are facing with debt payment post-restructuring, despite efforts by Beijing to revive home sales and smooth financing. China's commodities demand remains resilient despite factory slump. Bloomberg. According to Capital Economics, recent economic surveys are underestimating China's commodities consumption, pointing to robust imports and its own assessments of economic activity. the latest factory gauges suggest the outlook for the nation's manufacturers remains fragile, with the official Purchasing Managers' Index shrinking in December to the lowest level in 6 months. However, lower prices at the factory gate have yet to sap China's appetite for commodities imports, which have remained buoyant in recent months due to expectations of Beijing's steps to support the economy. Capital Economics expects a modest cyclical revival in China's growth in the first half of 2024, supporting most commodity prices. Hong Kong, Greater Bay Area, to fuel $50 million decarbonization fund. South China Morning Post. Twinem Group's asset management arm is raising capital from outside investors and looking for targets in Hong Kong for a new fund focused on companies with technology to cut carbon emissions. The fund, set up in early 2023, aims to raise $50 million to invest in companies focused on technologies to reduce carbon emissions. Hong Kong considers licensing regime for stablecoin issuance. Nikkei Asia. Hong Kong's financial regulators, the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, HKMA, and the Financial Services and the Treasury Bureau, FSTB, are considering legislation to regulate stablecoin issuance. The proposal, which is open for public consultation until February 29, aims to introduce a regulatory regime that requires issuers of fiat-referenced stablecoins to meet specific conditions and obtain a license from the HKMA. The move reflects the important role of stablecoins in the digital asset ecosystem and the growing interconnectedness between the traditional financial system and virtual asset markets. China closed 2023 with a military purge. Foreign policy. China's recent military purge, in which 9 high-ranking generals were removed from the National People's Congress (NPC), is seen by some as preparation for war. However, military purges are a common feature of autocratic rule and are often aimed at asserting the ruling party's control over the military. Corruption within the People's Liberation Army (PLA) has been a long-standing issue, and Chinese President Xi Jinping has intensified anti-corruption efforts within the PLA since taking office in 2012. The recent purge may be part of Xi's efforts to control the military and ensure its readiness for a potential conflict over Taiwan. The corruption within the PLA rocket force may be related to the real estate market downturn or the expansion of China's nuclear arsenal, which involved substantial land acquisition and potential for corruption. The cleanup within the military is not expected to have a significant impact in the long run, as corruption issues tend to resurface due to the lack of transparency and oversight. The recent purge may temporarily affect the efficiency of the PLA rocket force, as officials become cautious to avoid being scapegoats. China sacks top official after game rules backlash, Reuters says. Bloomberg. Beijing has removed Feng Shixin, a top official responsible for overseeing China's gaming industry, amid a backlash against harsh new regulations. Feng's departure is believed to be linked to the release of the regulations, which triggered an $80 billion sell-off in major tech stocks, including Tencent Holdings and NetEase. The National Press and Publication Administration, the gaming watchdog, has since pledged to review its more controversial mandates, including a cap on in-game spending. Feng has represented his agency at past events discussing regulatory efforts. The gaming restrictions have drawn comparisons to the tech sector crackdown of 2021. To die with dignity, we need more than an advance directive. SCMP opinion. Hong Kong is moving towards recognizing the importance of giving individuals a dignified and peaceful death. The government is in the process of establishing a legal framework for advanced decisions on life-sustaining treatment. However, to better support individuals and their families during their final moments, a wider perspective is needed. This includes adopting advanced care planning, which takes a comprehensive approach to encompass medical, personal, and social aspects of care. Hong Kong should learn from Singapore's National Advanced Care Planning Program, Living Matters, and establish a comprehensive and standardized advanced care planning protocol. How Craig Fong's globetrotting acting career was shaped in outback Western Australia. ABC. Australian actor Craig Fong has spoken about his childhood in Carnarvon, Western Australia, where he would sneak into a drive-in cinema with the help of his father. These experiences were formative for Fong, who went on to forge a successful acting career, with roles in the Hollywood blockbuster Entrapment and the Malaysian production Spinning Gasing, among others. Fong highlighted the limited opportunities for Asian actors in Australia at the time, which led him to seek work overseas. However, he noted that times have changed, and actors from diverse backgrounds now have more opportunities in the industry. Dutchman expects Davis Cup crowd for China's Shang at Hong Kong Tennis Open. South China Morning Post. Dutch tennis player Botic van de Zandschulp is prepared to embrace his role as the bad guy when he faces fan favorite Shang Junqing in the Hong Kong Tennis Open. Van de Zandschulp is ranked 50th in the world and was a US Open quarterfinalist in 2021. He is expecting a partisan crowd in Hong Kong but is not fazed by it. He is focused on the tournament and hopes to claim his first ATP 250 title. Van de Zandschulp recently returned to competitive action after a 6-week break and is working to find his rhythm. Hong Kong hotel heir bets billions on Middle East expansion. Bloomberg. Regal Hotels International Holdings is partnering with the Saudi Arabian Ministry of Investment to build around 100 hotels worth $5 billion. The majority of the hotels will be in Saudi Arabia and have the iClub branding, which targets entrepreneurs. Regal aims to complete the project by 2035, with the Saudi Arabian ministry helping to secure funding. Regal is also open to capital from China and Hong Kong. Sanctioned stocks, shunned by U.S. investors, are top performers for Chinese funds. South China Morning Post. Chinese stocks that were shunned by foreign investors due to U.S. sanctions could prove to be profitable for onshore funds in the U.S. election year. Stocks such as SMIC, CNOOC, 360 Security Technology, and China Mobile, which were among the largest sanctioned entities, rose between 15% and 147% in onshore markets last year. Onshore funds managed by eFund Asset Management and China AMC profited from owning these shares in 2023. Foreign funds pulled $28 billion from China's onshore stock markets last year, mostly in H2 as the nation's economic recovery lost momentum. Passing the Crown, the Bloomberg Open, Asia Edition. Bloomberg. BYD has surpassed Tesla as the world's top-selling EV brand, with 526,409 units sold in the last quarter compared to Tesla's 484,507. In other news, a JAL Airbus A350 collided with a smaller plane at Tokyo's Haneda Airport, resulting in a fire, but all 379 people on board escaped. Hong Kong's property market experienced its most severe downturn in at least 30 years, with only 58,023 transactions recorded in 2023. The PBOC injected 350 billion yuan, $49 billion, into policy-oriented banks last month, suggesting a ramp-up in housing and infrastructure investment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dr. Six coming to you from the 6 Degrees world, bringing you the latest news and insights from around the globe. Today, we explored a range of topics, from Hong Kong's tourism business and property market to China's military purge and the rise of Chinese automaker BYD. We also looked at the regulation of stablecoin issuance in Hong Kong and the importance of advanced care planning for a dignified death. And of course, we couldn't forget the world of entertainment, with stories about Australian actor Craig Fong and the Hong Kong Tennis Open. Now, let's dive into these stories and see what we can learn. Hong Kong's tourism industry has been struggling, with residents flocking to mainland China for leisure activities, attracted by lower prices and a wider variety of choices. To attract visitors back, authorities are being urged to update their mindset and develop a more holistic approach, promoting Hong Kong's unique blend of Chinese and Western culture. Meanwhile, Chinese automaker BYD has overtaken Tesla as the world's largest producer of battery passenger cars, thanks to its cheap production methods and focus on profitability. However, BYD's rapid growth has led to inventory challenges, with more cars sitting unsold. In the property market, Hong Kong saw its lowest number of property transactions in 33 years, reflecting poor economic news and high interest rates. However, there was a rebound in December, suggesting some signs of recovery. On the financial front, some holders of China Fortune Land Development Company bonds received less than expected payments, highlighting the struggles some Chinese builders are facing with debt payment post-restructuring. Despite a factory slump, China's commodities demand remains resilient, with robust imports and expectations of Beijing's steps to support the economy. In regulatory news, Hong Kong is considering a licensing regime for stablecoin issuance, reflecting the growing importance of stablecoins in the digital asset ecosystem. China's recent military purge has sparked speculation about a potential conflict over Taiwan, but military purges are not uncommon in autocratic regimes and are often aimed at asserting control. In the entertainment world, Beijing has removed a top official responsible for overseeing China's gaming industry amid a backlash against harsh new regulations. Finally, we explored the importance of advanced care planning for a dignified death and how it can be implemented in Hong Kong. So, there you have it, a whirlwind tour of the latest news and insights. Now, I want to hear from you, my dear viewers. What are your thoughts on these stories? Do you think Hong Kong can find its way back in the tourism business? What do you make of BYD's rise in the electric vehicle market? And how do you feel about the regulation of stablecoin issuance? Share your thoughts and questions, and let's start a lively discussion. Remember, in the 6 Degrees world, your opinion matters. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.